to Haven's Handiworks. This one's going to be a fun one because we're going to finally put plants on the hydroponic totem pole. Super excited. We have quite a few. We have a little bit of a propagation box update. So some of these are going on this and down into the lower basin, which I'm going to be planting this as well. We have some micans, some neon, some regular heartleaf, and some Brazil philodendron. And then we have Tradescantia baby bunny bellies. And then on this little tray of, I've washed all of my roots, by the way. You got to remove all your soil and make sure your roots are nice and clean. We have a Maranta, a plain green Maranta, 2 small Syngonium illusions. I'm not sure which of the illusions it is. Nope, just says exotic illusions, doesn't say which one. We have some Photonia. We actually have quite a bit of this Photonia here. There's 5 of them. Some Moon Valley Friendship Plant Pilea. And then some little guys that I'm going to save for later to show you for the top. And a little bit on the sides to kind of get the in-between spaces. And then for epiphytes, I have 3 types of orchids, 3 kinds of ferns and acacia, and 2 anthuriums. One is a Bellatus, and the other one is just a pink flamingo flower. And then finally, I just have this sitting in a jar over here, but it's going on the very bottom. We have my cupria. And it's got a few little bulbs that it's producing, kind of offshoots. Which I don't know if they're going to make it because I did just pull them up out of the soil. To start, we got to kind of decide where we want everything to go. And we're going to use, I'm going to use florist wire to kind of tie everything on there temporarily. And then I'm going to come back in and secure it with some damp moss. So I'm going to plant this according to which side gets more light. The plants that'll enjoy, I'm eventually going to put a light above, so it's really not going to matter that much. But the plants that need more light, right, I'm going to put on this side because they're going to get some southern exposure from this window here. And they'll also get the overhead light. And then the ones that are okay with like a lower light, I'm going to put on this side. They'll still get some, but not a lot of this southern exposure here. I'm going to start with this anthurium. I've been growing it in Leca for a while, but it's just, I forget it. And here it'll have a continuous supply of water without being oversaturated. So I'm going to try to see if it'll survive on this. If it does well, I mean, it kind of opens up the possibility to doing maybe a whole tower in just anthuriums. I'm going to take this and I'm going to just spread the roots out and then anchor it onto the tower. Side wants to go best, and I think this side goes best. And we'll go over the rhizome or the stem because I don't want to cut into any roots, and we'll just twist until it's tight. There. All right, and as seem like a good spot to you? Seems like a good spot to me. This is an old Phalaenopsis that I've had forever. And I think I'm just going to put it right like that. I think this one is white, just the typical white. I think I'm going to put the next Phalaenopsis in. And this one is a miniature Phalaenopsis, so it will never get really, really big. And it won't produce the huge flower spikes that this one will. Tie it in place like that, so they overlap. Alright. Look at the roots on this teeny tiny Brazil cutting. That is ridiculous. I am just going to tuck you in right next to that right there. And heart leaf. And I'm going to fast forward through this and I'll come back when I get to some of the more interesting plants. For now, I'm just going to be adding little philodendron plants and for a few minutes. What I'm going to do is all three orchids kind of in the same general vicinity. So like this Oncidium, I think that's how it's pronounced. I'm probably butchering that, but this right here. Something you should know about these is these are directional. These grow directionally, so this will grow here, and then the next one will come out right like in this area, come from here, and then next and next and next. You want to plant them kind of midway or low and let them work their way up over time. So now I'm going to put on this Bellata, Anthurium Bellata, right here. It needs more light, so it's getting a more sunny spot. This one's a small Nepenthes. A small staghorn fern, kangaroo paw fern. I think that's a crocodile fern. I don't know, it could be bird's nest. It is way too small to tell, and it did not give any information. More philodendron. So we have Micans, so now you're going to want to wring out your sheet moss. Bring it out gently so you don't tear it, and then flatten it out. And you may need to put them on one small little section at a time around your plants and work your way up. I'm not gonna show you how I do that each individual piece, but basically I'm gonna use twine for this instead of wire because I don't think I have enough wire for one. And once this twine degrades, it's really not gonna matter. By that point, most of these plants should have adhered their roots to the terracotta, and that should hold them on. If it looks like they're coming loose, I may just move them to another piece and replace them, or I may tighten or re-secure them a little more securely with wire down the road, but we're going with twine today. And this is kind of a bit of a pain in the butt because you got to work your way down and around. And I'm going to start at the top because that's the part you're going to see the most. And if I run out of moss, I can always put coconut coir on the bottom. Next is the terrestrial plants. So I'm going to start with the cupria because I'm going to have to dig a little bit to get that in place. And it is kind of the feature terrestrial plant. I'm going to put a syngonium on either side of the cupria. I got a pleca here to kind of fill in as I go. I'm going to add this Don Miller. Begonia, which has seen better days, but I think it'll do really good in here. This is a Micans, and I am going to put it there. And Miranda. There. You want to make sure all of your exposed roots are completely covered. So I'm going to sneak some of these string turtles into little spots like this, where I know they will root out just fine. And I'm going to plant these up because apparently I missed them. And so that completes my hydroponic tower build. come back every month for updates on how it's doing, and if it's going well, we'll do another one, but bigger. Thanks for watching. Comment any questions you have down in the comments below, and bye.